Good morning, Martin. Welcome to episode 50 of Illuminating Rounds. How about that?
Wow, amazing. 50.
They said you wouldn't last. You've proved them wrong. How you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I got a little bit of time off, but bit of time off work, so I'm
Yeah,
just growing my beard,
you
and
are.
that's pretty much all I am doing. Yeah.
It's very good. It's very exciting. Listen, now I wanted to ask this on air because I want to get an actual answer from you. So I'm thinking one day, many years time, to buy a boat, right? And I'm going to sail around wherever. Do you fancy going to like the Mediterranean or something, and us seeing how many scenarios we can play on a boat that's at like 45-degree angles?
Well, it's got ASL in it.
Yeah,
I fancy that. Sounds great. Yeah, we
brilliant.
could actually go to sort of like Tunisia, couldn't we? And like play a Tunisian scenario. We could go to Sicily.
Yes,
Play a Sicily.
yeah. We're
Yeah,
going to struggle to get to Berlin, but we'll.
maybe.
Excellent. Okay, brilliant. Well, okay, that's it. That's confirmed. Okay, good stuff.
Mm.
We have a lot to talk about today. A lot to
Yeah,
go through.
loads. Mm.
So we're going to talk about, well, first of all, thanks to the patrons. So we have a new
Mm.
patron, Senna Mayo. So thank you. It's always appreciated. And we have some news. Steve got in touch asking about a t-shirt. All our t-shirts have gone, but we are going to do a new thing for patrons. We're going to do coffee cups. So coffee cups are coming at some point. We'll do a good deal for patrons. So, we don't want to make any money off patrons for coffee cups, and other people can buy them. What could be more appropriate when
Perfect.
playing ASL?
You're going to see a lot of those coffee cups when the tournaments restart, aren't you? You're going to be going along knocking over, instead of knocking over a beer, you're going to be knocking over an Illuminating Rounds coffee cup.
And I hope they're very noisy when people decide to use them as dice rollers as well. But anyway, so coffee cups are going to come on their way very
Right.
soon. We're going to get those sorted out. We're going to talk about a new tournament. We're going to do the PBeM tournament to run in conjunction, but it's going to start in September for the PBeM tournament. We'll talk about that in a bit. The guys are playing the final of the meat grinder for this year's tournament. That's Tumo and Tom Rapetti.
And this is really public, isn't it? Because they're posting on Game Squad real time.
That's exactly right, and they're not reading their
Yeah.
other people's forum, which is
Yes.
that's a tricky thing to do, isn't it? Not read your opponent's hip gun and all this kind of stuff, and
Men of great honour.
exactly. Well, they didn't get to the final without great honor or great dice or something. I don't know, but yeah, no, it's brilliant, and I mean, there's some high quality posts on there, so that's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's great to see some real thought as well. I mean, Tom's post about where he's going to put that 16 firepower truck, the AMG stuff, it was brilliant. So that's that. We're going to do an in-depth coverage of a rule. We're going to talk about recovery and transfer of
That's
sport
right.
weapons, and that
Yeah.
came up in our game that we'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit about. We're going to announce a new segment as well that Rob McGinley is going to help us with, which is all around tanks and armored fighting vehicles and their usage. And we've got a scenario to talk about as well that we played this week. You don't look so happy about that one.
No. Let's not give anything away.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Come on, we don't want to spoil the tension when people are
But
watching.
starring who, Martin? Who did it star?
Oh, it was a character called Martin.
It was it
His
Colonel
last
Martin?
is something like that. His last name was Martin, not his first name.
That
but,
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
still counts. We still call him Martin. So it's all going on. But first things first. So you're okay. Everything's good.
Yeah,
Played a bit of
I'm
ASL
saying,
this week.
only with you.
Okay.
Only the Commander for the Day scenario.
Yeah.
I played that with you, but I have been sorting scenarios and things like that.
Okay.
Like sort of time, getting things a bit more
I can see
organised.
Daisy doesn't want to come downstairs. Oh, is it Hannah? 2 seconds. It's Nicole. All right. Okay. What are we going to talk about? First of all, let's talk firstly about the PBeM tournament. So we know that a lot of people have not a lot of time for live vasl, but they do have time for PBeM. So what we're going to do is we're going to give a shout out or a call out to anybody, any Patreons who would like to take part in a PBeM tournament. The format will be that you will all be in one league, providing there's not too many, obviously, because we won't. It's going to be an all plays all. So there's going to be, in theory, if there's 10 of you that sign up, Martin, you're the first one. You're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I'm official. Yeah.
You're official. So what we'll do is if there are 10 players, everybody will play 9 games against everybody else. You can play them all at one time if you want to. You can play them however you want. We'll give people about 6 months to play all of them. We are sourcing a prize as we speak. It'd be a nice prize. We're thinking of a diorama, something like that. What do you think, Martin?
I think that's great, and I like, and this one will be open to all tiers of patrons, won't it? Not just because it's the middle tier, isn't it, for the normal?
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
All tiers,
all tiers. So if you're a Patreon, you can be part of it. And we're going to just do a nice league. I know that there was or is a PBeM league that kind of runs. I know. Was it one of the guys on the
Italian guy?
That's right. Yeah, who's not been around for a little while. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if he's back on the scene or not. But we'll run that, and we'll pick the scenarios. So we will we'll pick the round.
You can pick the scenarios if I'm involved. That would feel unfair, won't it? But I think it's really interesting. I mean, we're kind of. I mean, who knows how many people? There might be sort of 6 to 10 people or something like that. It's a great opportunity. I mean, playing by email is so rewarding in a different kind of way.
Yes.
To sort of face to face. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Exactly.
Be very, very interested to know how many people come up. If of course we get 30, obviously, but I suspect we won't. We would have more than one league. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah, and more than one prize. Yeah. We'll figure
and more
out.
than one prize. Yeah.
So if you win your league, we'll get a prize sorted out for you.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Like I say, I'll pick the rounds and I'll pick the scenario, so you'll know who you've got to play and which scenario you've got to play. We'll handle the record keeping and everything, and we'll do bits and pieces for it. But I'm excited about that. I'm excited. I know it's hard to stitch the logs together, so I'm not expecting too many full log files back. But the PBeM experts around there can do that. And I think that would be a cool thing if that's possible to do. Good stuff. Okay, all right. Well, that's that sorted out. So if you want to sign up, drop me an email, aslscenarioarchive@gmail.com. Drop us a note on one of the Illuminating Rounds things, or you can try on the YouTube comments as well, but don't guarantee on that one because that's a little bit harder to track. And obviously, you'll need a reply from me, making sure that you're in the tournament. So don't give up until you get a reply from me saying you're in. But just let us know you want to take part and you're in, and that's that. Brilliant. Okay, next up, let's talk about recovery, Martin.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Does surprise you there with that one?
Yeah, no. I'm recovering as we speak. We're fine.
You are. Okay, so. Recovery and support weapon transfer comes up a little bit at the time, not often. I think we all do it in the rally phase and when we remember. When else can we do it? When's the...
So I think you've got to distinguish between the two, firstly, haven't you? Because transfer is perhaps the most sort of standard, if you like. Transfer, you can simply pass a support weapon from any good order multi-man counter to another good order multi-man counter in the same location at the beginning of the advance phase, I think before they advance apart perhaps, and in the rally phase of course, and when a unit divides into two half squads, at that point you can decide who's going to have the support weapons and prisoners and things like that.
Yes,
and that won't fail. So whatever you want to do, you can do those. That's no problem. And the reason recovery is different is because there's a dice roll and there's a potential to fail to recover, isn't there? So I think the reasons you might need to recover a weapon are, for example, a unit can drop a weapon freely whenever it wants. So if you were running along and the medium machine gun's just too heavy or something like that, you can drop it, just leave it on the board. Another unit can obviously pick that up. And that's called recovery. It needs to roll on a 5 or less, isn't it?
That's
6
right, yeah.
It fails to find it on a single dice roll.
Yep.
That's modified by CX, and there's another modifier as well.
Knight
is
the PTO as well. Jungle, isn't it as well? Jungle hits.
Yeah, that's right. There's I suppose if you're playing PTO, you'd want to check out the because there's a few things there, aren't there? The PTO and I think, but. So that's the basic rule. Now it costs 1 movement point. movement factor, I should say, doesn't it, to search for something. But there are other situations which are perhaps not quite so obvious when you can recover things. So, for example, a leader can recover a weapon when the multi-man counter in the same location routes away and can't carry it because it's perhaps too high a portage point, or routes to an enemy unit in surrendering, leaving the weapon behind, or is eliminated and leaves the weapon behind. The leader can instantly at that point recover the weapon by rolling a 5 or less. That's
now
right.
you mentioned as well, Legion. One of the guys you played a little while ago came up with a very nice scenario. We don't have to necessarily show the map, but you can talk through it as a great example of.
Yeah. So it was very much like this. It wasn't fighting withdrawal, but it was very much a similar situation. That was that same building, and there was I think it was a heavy machine gun upstairs in that building, and the Americans were attacking his Germans where he was setting up, and they were a long way away from that heavy machine gun. Heavy machine gun obviously could touch them, but it couldn't be hit by the the infantry. The infantry weren't going to. Their firepower wasn't going to be relevant for a long time in the game. And he deployed the squad into 2 half squads. He had a leader there as well, a 9-1 or an 8-1 or something like that. But he deployed into 2 half squads, moved one of the half squads, to the back of the building where it couldn't be fired at. And eventually, I get a hit on this heavy machine gun with a tank with a heavy high explosive round, and it breaks the half squad that's manning it, and it's causing me all sorts of problems. This machine gun, so I'm really happy. He recovers it with the leader
instantly,
by rolling a 5 or less. You're doing the recovery roll because the half squad routes away and drops it. Yeah, so he can't instantly. It has to be when he drops it and routes away. Then it's his turn, and of course he advances the half squad that's unbroken into the same location, and then the leader can simply transfer it, which is certain. Right? We don't need a dice roll for that. And then it's my turn again, and I actually haven't had a turn without where I'm moving, where this thing hasn't been in action. So it was a very efficient way of keeping a really important weapon in play.
Right. Now, this is unfair for me to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask it because it was on my mind. Is it legal to run a machine gun up with a squad, drop it on the last movement phase, and then with a second squad in the same hex on its movement phase, recover that machine gun, and then move it again? So effectively getting almost 12 or so hexes of movement, maybe 11 because you've one to spend.
Do you know what? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. We'd have to look at the rule book and find out. I mean, if it's legal, that's a loophole in the rules, isn't it? It's obviously I don't think the game was meant to be played like that.
Right.
But that's a very, very interesting question.
Okay. Yeah. So if anyone knows the answer to that, let us know. Because that's something that I've always wanted to do. Never had a chance to do it. But I think it's one of those things where you might be able to do that with prisoners as well. There might be some weird thing where you can transfer prisoners in the same way to get them, chain them along to move them. It's worth thinking about. Now, this came up in our game because you had this bazooka, which was a key element of your defense, and you were able to do great stuff with both the bazooka and the kind of the leader using it. And then a little bit towards the end of the scenario as well, where you drop a bazooka because you want to maintain an air of kind of questions about the stack height. And that was quite interesting play as well. So these things do come up a little bit more often than you think. And it does, I think, we often talk about ASL being a series of small advantages that you can gain. And this is one of those times, knowing when you can recover that. So other people, feel free to give some tips and some comments about transfer of weapons and things like this. I guess the other thing that you often see people transfer, and when tactics are good to be doing this, is, for example, when you opportunity fire and you have squads, or for example, that are CX, and then they want to, transfer the weapon so that they're not CX anymore for the squad that's firing isn't necessarily doing that. And again, that's another question about whether if you have a firer that's marked opportunity fire, they can't because they wouldn't be able to possess the weapon until latter stage. So that wouldn't work.
Yeah,
But,
that wouldn't work.
All right.
No.
Good stuff. Okay, so we will persevere on doing other little kind of mini deep dives on different rules, and just to encourage a little bit of discussion around that particular topic. Just to complement that, Rob has kindly started to go through the videos that we've previously done, just to pull out any rules that we've talked about, and he's done a great job that I couldn't bear to do, which is go and watch our stuff all over again to try and find the timestamps. But what I'm going to do is on Scenario Archive, I will start to kind of curate, or give the ability to curate videos of interesting things, like either an AAR or a rules reference or a particular talk about a vehicle, whatever it might be. And obviously we won't store the video, we'll store the links and the time codes to those videos, so that you can kind of search for AARs or whatever it might be, rules references. So look out for that soon on the Scenario Archive. And big thanks to Rob for his efforts to do that, which is more than I could be doing, I think is fair to say. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk a little bit about questions that how well do you know your gaming partner?
This is what I was expecting a moment ago. That's why I was thrown.
There's no guarantee of which order I'm going to do anything in.
No.
So there was a show in the, I don't know when it was, Martin, 80s in the UK, Mr. and Mrs.
You know, I think it was even before that. Mr. and Mrs. was black. I remember watching it on a black and white telly in the 70s. Okay. So it may well have carried on until the 80s.
Definitely, and it's known as something different in the US, because I've seen it as I don't know. But basically, ask your partner a question. You're my gaming partner, just to be clear. Martin,
let's be clear about that, yeah.
But ask your gaming partner questions that you think you may have an answer to about what they would think, but just to try and talk. So I've got 5 questions for you, Martin. I've got what I think, and then so I'm going to ask you these 5, and I want quick fire answers.
Right. Okay.
And then I'll tell you whether I thought you were right or wrong. So for my first question for you, a one board scenario, would you choose to play on a starter kit board, or a normal cardboard thick board?
Starter kit.
I thought that's exactly what you'd say. Okay.
And you know what? I wouldn't always have answered that. I was a bit of a traditionalist.
Yeah.
When but yeah, they're so practical. Aren't
you
they?
like them now, yeah. What about Okay, just I shouldn't really do this with extensions, but what about when it's a half board?
Yeah, I would. Oh, if it was just a half board, actually, I think it's probably better on the old ones, isn't it?
Okay.
Just to be difficult.
Okay. All right. Would you always attack or always defend if you had the chance to only do one or the other?
Defend.
All right. Okay. I said you'd always attack, which is interesting. I thought you'd be more of an attacker. Thank you, Kel. Okay. All right. So what about if you only ever had the chance to play official scenarios or unofficial scenarios? What would you play?
Official.
Okay, I said that. Yeah, I did say that you'd play that. Okay. Ignoring everything else, would you take 1 Panther or 4 M4A1s?
4 M4A1s.
Yeah. Okay, I called that. All right. And the last one, would you always play a partisan scenario, or would you never roll a snake eyes?
I'm going for never roll a snake eyes.
Really? You just couldn't bear.
No. I mean, I'm happy playing a partisan scenario, but you're saying I have to always play partisan scenarios.
Yeah, I think that you would always play partisan scenarios, but you had the chance to roll snake eyes. But yeah. Okay. All right. There you go.
Yeah.
So I think I got 4 out of them. I thought you would be an attacker. I thought you liked to attack more than defend. But
do you know what? I'm not an aggressive person. You know, I wouldn't attack anyone. You know, when we're playing, I'm defending myself. You're the one who's attacking. You know, it's
all right. Okay.
So we didn't talk much about this before. So mine are perhaps a little bit different in style, but the first 2 are similar. So the first one is attack or defend.
I would attack.
And that's what I guess. That's what I guess that you'd attack. Okay. Right. The next one is
need the glasses.
Desert or seaborne assault.
Desert.
Because I know you're not mad on either, but I guess desert.
Yeah.
I guess desert. Right, all the others are a little bit more complicated, but there's still binary responses. Okay, so You're in a play by email match game, okay? You got a weak tank. Really needs to roll very, very low indeed to damage the opponent's tanks. You get 3 critical hits in a row. Decimate his 3 big tanks, okay? Do you send it? Would you re-roll?
I'm sending it. I'm sending it all day long. Yeah, I'm
Do you
sending
know,
it.
I said that. It is tough, isn't it? Because there's no way he's going to believe that that's complete.
I'm sending it with apologies, and I don't doubt I've done it
Yeah.
to Rob before in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that one right. Okay. So the other one is the exact opposite situation. Okay.
Right.
So there's a guy, you don't know him particularly well. You're playing a play-by-email game.
Yeah.
He's got 1 weak tank.
Yeah.
You've got 3 good ones. First log file you get from him, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Critical hits, blows them all up.
Yeah.
Are you going to resign? Or are you going to play on?
I do look for reasons to resign play by my games. That's not a terrible way to resign.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do it with a snarky well played, but
Yeah.
I probably think it. Yeah. Okay. Did you have that?
The thing is, I said that you would play on.
Oh, okay.
So I got that one wrong. Okay. Right, this one's complicated. Okay, so you make a genuine error in this situation. Okay, so like an honest error. Okay. You can't decide between position A for your hip anti-tank gun or position B. Okay, and you sway between both while you're planning. You make up your decision. Going to go for position A.
Right.
You write it down.
Yeah.
Okay. Game starts, and you kind of misremember. Okay. He goes up in front of position B, where you are undefended.
Yeah.
And you go, brilliant. That's where my hip gun is. You don't check because you can remember where your hip gun is. You look like you win the scenario because of that. Okay. At the end of the game, he shakes your hand and says, "Where did you put the wire counters? I never found the wire counters." And you go, "Oh, let's have a look." And you realise that you've revealed the gun in the wrong position. Right? Do you tell him, or do you just go, "Yeah, good game"?
Oh, that's brutal. Right. I am okay. At that point, I am ridiculously apologetic.
Yeah.
I am resigning the game.
Yeah.
But I'm secretly hoping that he's going to say, no, it was a genuine mistake. And I might grouch about it afterwards, even though it's my mistake. But that's brutal.
I said that you tell him. I'd say you tell him.
I would tell him.
I think that there is a little bit of ambiguity because, in actual fact, you both had a good game.
Yeah.
You both think he thinks you've won it, but you've had a good game and everyone's happy in a way.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go, do you know what? That whole game was a void. That was a waste of time. Do you know what I mean? It's like, which makes the world a slightly less good place, but it is the right thing to do, isn't it? I think.
Have you played anybody that's asked to see your notes?
Never. No, not once.
No.
And I can't imagine doing it. I can't imagine asking someone to show me their notes.
I would,
because you are basically saying, I don't trust you here. Yeah.
It's and the thing is, like how magicians like pick a card, any card, they've got 52 pockets in their jacket or whatever.
Yeah. Yes, you can have as many set of notes as you want. Yeah. But I think that would be a new level of cheating, wouldn't it? To
Don't
sit
put
there
it
and
past
write
me. I mean, we should. You know what we should do? We should have a game one day where cheating is fine. Okay, it's like
as long as you get away with it.
Yeah. So you can do anything you want. Shuffle a counter over a little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just one game, because you don't know about all the others I've done like this with you. One game, and then we see how many times. And I might not cheat at all, and you might have cheated 20 times, and I still beat you, or you beat me, and vice versa, or whatever. But it'll be quite funny.
So the idea is, if I see you moving a counter, I can go, no, hang on, that goes there, put it back. But if you get away with it, you get away with it.
Yeah.
Interesting idea.
I think I can do a lot of Jedi mind tricks with you reading dice, because a lot of the time you're like, that's a 7 on a 4, that's a Nothing. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's been 10. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think I could do it the
Yeah.
other way around, where I could start be calling,
Yeah.
7 on a. Oh, that's the normal
Do you
round
know
check.
what? I think that would be my weak point. That
Yeah.
would be my weak point because sometimes I can't even be bothered to work out whether the to hit is right. Do you know what I mean? You kind of go, yeah, looks that's it. So, yeah, you're going right. So I need a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hit. I haven't even looked at the dice. It's,
Pick up the dice
yeah.
very quickly. Okay, rate of fire again. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Cool. Okay, Martin, so let's take a look at the game we played. Now, we played this on the backing of, or the recommendation of Indy, who we had a chat to a couple of weeks ago,
Yep.
when we started talking about the Korea scenarios. And you and I both haven't played very many. I think one Korea scenario. I've not played anything from the official pack yet. I don't think you have either.
I have played
you-
some from
Oh,
the
have you?
official
Okay.
pack. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3
Oh,
scenarios.
okay.
Yeah.
Look at you. All right. Okay. Did you
Yeah.
like them?
Yeah, no, I did. I didn't expect to like them, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But they were good. They were really good scenarios. Yeah.
So Indy recommended we take a look at rally point 15 and 17 because they've taken like I don't want to say a starter kit approach to Korea because it's not that, but it's their basic Korea scenarios, and so they need very little rules reading, and it gives you a chance to play in Korea, which was great. So we played commander for a day. That's right.
Yeah.
Rally point 142, and this is effectively it's almost American versus Russian, isn't it? I mean, it's 1950. It's North Korea obviously versus America, but for all intents and purposes, the Koreans are the Russians. I mean, I can deploy as the Koreans, and there was a +2 for the heat of battle. And that's pretty much it, wasn't it? There wasn't a lot.
And you're stealthy as well, weren't you?
That's right. Elite units were stealthy.
Because only you had the rules. You were like drip feeding me with the rules, weren't you? As you kind of get to close combat. Oh yeah, by the way, Koreans are stealthy.
More important than that was the rule that absolutely saved me a tank in this game, which was the bazooka rule. So this is really important, and for those that have only dipped their toe in this and may have missed this rule, there is a rule that says the 1945 bazookas were suffering basically from bad ammunition, and so they have a +2 on the to hit for the colored dice and a +2 to kill on the colored dice as well. And that makes all the difference because I think your to kill is 16, I think, with the bazookas. My front armor's 11, so you're looking for 5s. Suddenly you're looking for 3s, and there's a big difference, isn't it, in the to kill effect there. So this scenario is pretty straightforward, isn't it? It's did you have about, was it six or so squads?
Yeah, I can't see it. Are you on?
2 seconds. Okay, so there's about six squads. You've got a couple of 667s, and you've got a couple of you've got 4 666s. You also have the star of the show, Martin. You have Colonel Martin.
Yeah.
Here. And
Who's
is
heroic.
Heroic, yeah. He's a 10-2 heroic.
Yeah.
Leader, which is pretty
Ludicrous.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's that going on. There are 5 multi-hex buildings. The North Koreans have to have the Americans devoid of any good order units in 4 of them. 4.5 turns. So pretty short.
Yeah.
And that's about it, isn't it? Really, there's the North Koreans have nine squads. North Koreans can deploy. Got a couple of light machine guns, a couple of T-34-85s.
Yeah.
And that's it. You have six concealment counters here. You're defending.
That's right.
Do you want to talk through your defence? There's a railroad there that has no part in this game at all, I think.
No. I kind of thought you would maybe come that way a little bit, but I decided to defend this sort of right hand side more, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's a mixture of 666s and the 7 rail, the 667s.
Yep.
But the thing is, all of the Americans are fine, aren't they? And they're very powerful units, but they break so easily.
Yep.
I wanted to give you like a front line of we've got 4 units, and they're all real units.
Yep.
They're between J7 and G6. They're all full squads, and I thought they're concealed. They've all got good defence, and that's going to be difficult for you to get past. You have to fight your way through there. And I've also got the bazooka back in J6.
Right.
The idea being that I suppose I can fire if you try to flank me with the tanks, or come behind with the tanks, or something like that. The other bazooka is in E5. Kind of thinking if I get a chance for a good shot, I'm not going to step out of the building. I'm just going to go for it. If I break something, because another way I can win is by eliminating your tanks, isn't
it? Yeah. So if I've got no main armament, functioning main armaments, or not recalled and things like that. And that's kind of the linchpin of the scenario, isn't it? Because you've only got two.
They're very useful in pushing you forward, but when you use them that way, you're likely to lose them, aren't you?
Exactly. The railroad is ground level, so I couldn't really see it. So there's no cover for it. There's no. It's not like it's embanked or anything like that. So I just kind of thought, well, it's just open ground effectively to me. So I didn't really. I guess you're right. I could come straight down the railroad, but it didn't seem to be a lot of use.
It doesn't get you any nearer to some of these buildings, does it?
That's right. That's right.
It allows you to approach perhaps through the bit more cover. Maybe.
Yeah. Now, one criticism we sometimes have or I sometimes have of Schwerpunk scenarios is that they do kind of promote a very quick rush, and the problem here is that the Americans love firing at the Koreans across the open ground, your 6 and 8s and things like that, with your machine guns. And there's not a lot of places really to route. This is light woods as well, by the way. So light woods is a little bit trickier because, it's just a hindrance and, it's not ideal for sort of sitting out and defending. So I took a bit more of a steady approach, and we're going to see this. So usually I would kind of rush. I deployed a couple of half squads and would plan to rush this, but I actually kind of thought we actually something. It's actually worth just slowing down a little bit on this one, and those first hexes of all open ground just felt too nasty. So I have a little bit of a run on the right hand side here. I'm surprised you took quite so long to take the shot there with the unit, but you get a pin on my guys on the right hand side, and at that point then that's kind of my turn pretty much done.
That's turn one, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is a bit dangerous in terms of for the timings, but I just didn't. I think this is one of the scenarios where you can absolutely lose this on a first turn.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now we should mention the balance. It's only been played 5 times before, and it's in favour of the Koreans. It's 4-1, so it could be wildly unbalanced. It could just be, just no, it's no meaningful numbers at all. But that gives you a little bit of hope as the Koreans, at least.
Yes.
So the usual kind of area fire against the concealed squads here. And some advances where you can be a bit braver, knowing that at least you've got some tanks to kind of cover. So at this point, I'm okay with this. I'm quite comfortable with the position.
Nicely dispersed, aren't you, in big fire groups?
That's right. You took the shot there. I was surprised you took this shot against the E8 guys, which was blocked. So I thought maybe taking it, if you're going to shoot anyone, shoot the D8 guys, but it is hard for you to pull back. Already with this road, this 347 is a bit cut off, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're already kind of. Oh, we should mention as well all the buildings are ground level only.
Yeah,
which is a big difference. So this is pretty brutal here, where we start to lose both squadron leader here. With the 6 up one shot here.
That's the thing. Even a half squad, these American half squads, point blank, are quite punchy, and you're only in a wood, aren't you? That's the thing.
That's right. You do a little bit of repositioning, which is great. I mean, it leaves me not very many options already.
No.
And looking quite tough to start with. So the routes start at some point.
I think we've done the routes. Those are the advances.
these guys should have routed. I think. Oh, didn't I route?
You did.
Oh, this is the one that we had. Didn't we have a problem with this guy? The guy on E8.
Yeah, yeah. There was some sort of glitch
Because he
perhaps with
routed back
Vasl.
to here, didn't he? He routed back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
yeah. Okay,
F9 or whatever.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. There was a bit of a glitch on Vasl, so
yeah,
he was able to route back because of the pin going
Yeah.
back. And it's so yeah. Okay, so this is where you reveal the bazooka shot here against my my tank, and there's a bit of a question about, are you gonna step outside, and
Yeah.
it's whatever it is it not, so it's nine base to hit, you're going to step outside for sevens, and you also reveal a heroic 10-2,
Yeah.
which and then you roll a double one.
Yes, exactly.
Now, interesting, because I can't remember if I've had mentioned this rule to you yet or not, because I think I only looked it up. I think I did, but I can't remember about the fact that it's 3s to kill, not 5s to kill.
Yeah.
So, would you have still taken the shot knowing it was a 3 to kill? Yeah.
No, I miscalculated completely. Yeah, yeah. I did know the rule. I knew the rule was there. I just wasn't really.
Yeah.
It was a bad shot, but as it happens, it kind of works out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to be fair, you may have had you might get a general attack, a collateral attack against the crew potentially, even if the bazooka hadn't,
because their crew exposed. Yeah, absolutely.
So there was definitely an option. But anyway,
blazing
wreck already. And now I'm down to one tank. So in theory, every time I shoot this tank, there's a 1 in 36 chance that you're going to win the scenario if I can't repair it. Which is pretty grim. Anything you can do, I can do better, and I roll my double one on my guy. We get a sniper that knocks off your dummy in M7, which is it's a big reveal for me, because I know now I can kind of push this left. Those dummies would have absolutely held me up, certainly. So that's, and the great thing about this as well, I haven't got to go into catch this building. It's basically it's already mine, which is
you haven't even got to send a little half squad off to capture it, have you?
Exactly. So then you wipe out another squad here.
Yep.
It's all feeling a bit grim.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's not quite do or die for me, but I feel like, okay, I've got to knock this position out.
Yeah.
At this point, this is the chance where I've got to do it, because otherwise I'm just not going to get past this.
And I've got nothing eligible to do street fighting there, because they've all fired, I think.
Right, exactly, yeah. And so I have to push. So luckily I break your squad here with my tanks, machine guns, and that gives me a chance to get round the back, which is kind of the classic. And again, only able to do this because of the fact that the sniper has revealed your dummy. I mean, this is it's one of the most important dummy reveals from. So at this point now, I'm feeling quite good, because you guys are gonna failure to route here, and I've basically taken the center. So we have a little bit of
that's the chess player in you, isn't it?
Yeah, take the center, exactly. But as we've talked about, you recover the bazooka from the
and the leader's heroic. He can fire it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is now a bit of a problem. So the big deal for me now is I have to win this close combat, and I'm very aware that you have a great chance to jump out, and I can't really stop you. If you do manage to jump out, there's nowhere where I can stop you going. Now, having said that, there are definitely positions where I don't want you to jump out, and J8 is one of them.
Yeah.
So I think the correct thing to do here was to leave a half squad in J8 to prevent that.
Yes.
Now you could have still gone to K8, but that would have been
not so good.
That would have been a front shot as well. So at this point, I think this is my big mistake here, not leaving something in J8 for this.
But luckily, I make a mistake as well, because I don't go to J8. I was thinking going to J8, and I wanted to be with the squad.
Exactly. So we do this close combat first. So I
get the
I get the ambush here, I think, because I'm elite, and I beat you.
Yeah.
And then of course, I roll my 6 for my ambush
Yeah,
against your
and I
10
rolled a
2.
2. Yeah,
You go to put him here, and I kind of got
yeah,
my head in my hands at this point. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's all
yeah,
gone horribly wrong because this is a game win for you.
yeah. Absolutely.
You've got the prep fire
Yeah,
shot. 11s
yeah,
11s to hit. You've got, was it
yeah,
6s? Probably be a
yeah,
hull hit because the
yeah,
color dice getting a +2. So it's going to be 6s, going to be 10s to
yeah,
kill, and then 8s because of
yeah,
the
yeah.
the bad armor or the bad ammo. Sorry. And
And
then you
I'm
change your
making
mind.
this change my mind. Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
change your mind. I
yeah.
don't talk you out of it. Um,
No,
it
no.
left you to it. Now, what
Yeah.
was going on here? You
Again,
just
I was just wasn't really thinking
right.
straight, and I thought that he would be. It would. There's more survivability being with the squad, but of course the
Mm,
squad's got 6 morale. There's nothing survivable about it, is there? But with the morale of the leader, I
yep.
suppose I thought that they're stronger together. I
Now,
think but it so badly affects the
but
kill. Mm,
so I could have in my advanced phase. Oh no, because of course we had the
mm,
advanced phase, and so yeah, so I couldn't have even swung the
yeah.
tank in my advanced phase. We did
No.
say that had you have moved there and had you have missed the shot or the tank
Yeah.
survive or whatever, that leader was dead almost
Mm,
certainly. There was
yeah.
whereas here in this position he absolutely can get away again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there is that kind of question about that was it would have been a
Mm,
much more risky do or die shot
yeah.
in J8,
Yeah.
but still,
But still, it was a
yeah,
mistake. Yeah.
yeah. So the prep fire shot, you take the shot against the tank, and I think you rolled a 5 to kill, which isn't
Yeah.
enough thanks to the
No.
+2
Yeah.
of the thing, and I get away with it.
Yeah.
We have some more breaks here.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm kind of wondering where all my guys are. I mean, it's
Yes. Yeah.
there's not many of them left, which is kind of interesting. I know that you don't have a lot left either, although it does feel like
But I have got. It does feel to me. I've still got a six a squad with a medium machine gun and 8-1 leader back in H4.
yep, yep,
I've still got the light machine gun over in with a squad in C4,
yep,
and I've got a half squad with a bazooka, and they're not even engaged yet, really.
right,
So
right,
yeah,
right. I encircle you here
yeah,
from everybody basically in firing into here, and this is where we break your first guy and we wound the heroic leader.
yeah,
So now
yeah.
this point here, this guy is encircled. He's got 0 portage points. He's carrying a bazooka, but he's still able to get away with this. I mean, he still
Yeah,
can.
yeah,
He can still go. Obviously, double the first movement points, but it's gonna be a minimum move. He's gonna get away, albeit CX
yeah,
and everything. And it's another problem.
yeah,
So
yeah.
again,
And it's a full squad in there, concealed, isn't it,
yeah,
with a 9-2 leader,
yeah,
albeit a wounded one. And
that's right.
so I'm thinking this is going to hold you up another turn.
Yep,
That's
yeah,
what I'm kind of hoping. Yeah,
exactly. And time's ticking away. It's going to become up
yeah,
to
yeah.
turn 3 very shortly.
Mm,
So you do a little bit more repositioning here,
mm,
and you do have these two. You just got to hold on to these two. Obviously, this guy I could skirt around him, but
yeah,
really decided I need to just kind of get rid of him. This is where you become a little bit target. I become a little bit target focused on just trying to
yeah,
eliminate this guy.
yeah,
But so the tank swings, misses, keep rate of fire.
keep straight at fire. That was
Yeah,
the key thing.
that's right, exactly. And then doesn't do very much though.
Mm,
Doesn't affect your guy.
mm,
Your half squad, my squad coming in, break this guy.
mm,
And I'm just thinking, this Colonel Martin is the absolute
yeah,
thorn in
yeah.
my side here. But I won't give up. I'm just gonna get him at some point.
You basically just absolutely
Yeah,
storm in,
yeah,
don't you? Coming from every
exactly.
direction, and I
Yeah,
don't manage to break as much as I might have liked.
that's right. That's right.
It's in basically one squad, isn't it?
That's
And all
right.
of a sudden, you seem to have quite a lot of
Yes.
squads.
Yeah, exactly. They
Yeah,
kind of spring out of the woodwork a little bit here.
yeah, mm,
So we're into close. Now, obviously, here we've got no no ambush. So
Yeah.
I'm happier. You're CX,
Mm.
so I'm quite happy here. Roll a 9, and I think that's enough with the 4-1
Mm.
with the
Yeah.
6 trying to kill him. You obviously don't get him on the 11.
Yeah.
So here's 2 turns left for the
Yeah.
Koreans, and I mean it's still there's a lot to do here. There's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we were talking about the fact that at this point now I know these two
Yeah.
guys are dummies because you've got a bazooka left. So
Correct.
this bazooka has given away that this is the real unit, and these are
Yeah.
2 dummies. Now this is a bit tricky, isn't it, for you? Because now that kind of doesn't help that you can't
Yeah.
hide those guys. But you're in a reasonably well defended position.
Yeah.
And obviously these guys can't do anything other than stay in this building to stop the Koreans winning at the end of the game.
Mm.
I did wonder whether you were going to try and make some crazy dash for it, but it looked.
I thought about it. It's too late by this turn, but the turn before,
Yep.
the half squad I thought about, or even even the dummy counter. I was thinking about making a rush
Right.
to get into like N4 just to force you to direct something over there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
But I decided not to.
All right. So this is your kind of like your reposition spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, so I still know where your real guys are. Grab the
Yeah.
bazooka, fire it, break it, but I'm not so worried about that.
Yeah.
And my wounded leader comes in, a little bit of fire in here. You can set up a fire lane.
You decide to use the tank.
Yeah. Now this is risky, isn't it? This is risky. So this is one of those things where it's if I fire and I break this guy, I win the scenario. I mean that's my thing. If I fire and I break the main armament, I lose the scenario. Assuming I don't repair it on the next turn. And that's a bit risky, but I figure, well, it's only 1 in 36 chance to break this, and there's a lot better chances to break this guy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
thing is, you have to fire it more than once because you're going to have to at least do it once for acquisition, aren't you?
That's true.
And then you got to fire it again. Be interesting to work out the odds, actually.
Yes,
but I think you're right. It must favour you.
But the thing is, I don't have to take that risk. I mean, this is the one thing.
No, this is the thing. You could probably win this scenario anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
So my 7-0 starts to run through the residual, gets it there, and we start to have a little bit of shooting, and this is kind of where we get to. It's completely surrounded. Now this is, I think, the advantage of not doing the crazy first turn, where I do have an extra squad or two that I perhaps would have had, because there was very few breaks really. For the Koreans throughout the game, it was manageable, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Yeah.
So we get a rally as well that comes back, and there's fine. And now you are kind of struggling. You get a couple of breaks here though, which is good. But I get another heat of battle. My guys get a fanatic, which you don't want to see. I managed to fire back and break these guys, which is perfect, really, isn't it? And they can't rout away.
No.
And now you're left with problem. So this is where you're very clever. So you decide to drop the bazooka.
Yeah.
In order to now give me a question. Now, it's very easy to assume that you would rightly put the real unit at the back here. But, there's a double bluff element going on. And
the thing is, if I didn't do this, you could prep fire because you're adjacent to him, aren't you? You could take a prep fire shot to advance him. Now you've got to think twice about prep firing.
Exactly that. And I can't. In my mind, I couldn't prep fire because if I prep fire and, for example, don't find anything up here. Let's say, for example, these are all bad shots. They're only ever going to get into here. These guys then are only ever going to get into here, and it's not necessarily. I want better odds than that. So you do the right thing down here. This is now renders this tank.
I can't do anything to convince you that that other dummy is anything other than a dummy, though.
But at this point, it doesn't matter. This guy in D3,
no,
doesn't matter because I assume I won't get that build in. I only need one of them.
Yeah.
So we get a rally. This guy comes back, which is great. It's another squad to be able to throw into the mix. At this point, I can safely run this tank around, and I get at least a shot on you for the
Machine guns.
to effectively win the game. If this guy breaks,
Yeah.
I'll win. You pin. It was only a pin check, so no problems. But again, it helps out a little bit with the firing.
Yeah.
So bounce this guy to confirm that that's indeed a dummy, and then
it's just storming it, isn't it? There's nothing I can do about this now.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we jump into close combat.
Yeah.
And
all you got to do is not die, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were there at whatever it was. I mean, 12. What's that?
Yeah.
Lots. 15 or so. 15 to 5 to 1.
Yeah, which is still, you can still wipe everything out at 5 at that, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, and as I roll 11, I think, which is not enough to kill you. And in a scenario where I've got to take that building, I lose on that. One. But
in this one, all you need to do is make sure I'm not good order, isn't it? So
right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Koreans win. So it was actually okay. It was quite fun in the end, wasn't it? It wasn't. It was obviously very dicey with the leaders,
with the tanks.
Yeah. Well, and the heroic leader, which is always going to. It's always going to swing a scenario, isn't it?
I always think that there's such unbalanced units, especially in a small scenario. I mean, one lucky sniper shot kind of thing, and you haven't got that key unit, but at the same time, it's so powerful. I think it's. I mean, I enjoyed this, and I thought it worked very well in this particular scenario. But I sometimes don't like units like that in games.
What was nice was he was very reachable. So because you put him up so far forward, which is fine, but it meant I was able to get him. If you have him at the end of the game, for example, I would have hated to be dealing with him at close combat at the back of the.
No, you're right. Yeah,
but it wasn't I think all the way through.
It was until perhaps the last turn. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it was quite good. So we'll play some more perhaps from the rally packs, the rally points.
I'd like to.
And for all intents and purposes, American versus Russians. I mean, that's kind of how it felt. So that was good stuff. So
yeah.
All right, good. So we are going to do our live game on the 24th of August. We've decided. Do you have a time in mind, Martin? This is British summertime.
Do you know, it's fine. Tuesdays, I don't have my children. I'm not at work on that day. So,
should we say 11
I don't
o'clock?
have an idea.
Is 11 o'clock?
Yeah. That's a nice time, isn't it? Because, 11 o'clock. Okay.
Okay. So 11 o'clock will be on Twitch again. We know that our streaming is not amazing quality. There'll be a few bumps in the road with our upload capability. We still haven't got that any better, but we'll do our best. We're playing Fighting Withdrawal, so we've played it a few times. We know that scenario.
Do we know who's playing which side, Dave?
No. Would you like to roll a dice?
We can roll a dice. Yeah. Okay. Shall I do it now on Vasl?
Feel free. Yeah.
Okay. So on 1 to 3, I'll be the defending Germans.
I don't think there's any Germans in Fight Withdrawal.
Okay, defending Russians. Sorry. So I've rolled a 6, which means I'm the attacking Finnish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're definitely not the Germans. Let's speak.
No, I'm definitely not the Germans. Okay. No. Okay.
All right.
So I'm attacking as the Finnish. Okay.
All right. Okay. I will get a setup over to you at some point. Probably about 10 minutes before the game starts, just to maximize my.
Just game it as much as you possibly can.
Exactly. Last thing to talk about. Rob McGinley is going to do us a segment. Hopefully he will do a semi-regular one. We got great feedback, by the way, from Tim's segment, Tim Reed's segment, Critical Moments. So Tim, well done for that. Please do another one if you have the source material, as it were. But that was brilliant. Robbie's going to do a segment for us around tanks and the relative matchups.
Yeah.
So for any given scenario, there's often tanks on both sides, and he's looking at, for example, the tactics that you should be using specifically around the tanks. And we played a tank-only scenario to try and highlight some of this. and he's going to talk about the relative matchups. And so we're going to have that segment coming up soon, and he'll help us, and he might even show us some of his models. He's built a lot of models and things like that as well. So it'll be nice to see these tanks, because often you don't get as good a view just from the top view of the counter.
Yeah.
So actually seeing these things. So hopefully Rob will show us some pictures as well of his handiwork. So yeah, that'll be hopefully next time.
I think the best ever visual display I got was when we went to the Tank Museum in Bovington, and
Right.
Dave Schofield, who used to do a lecture on them because he was the sort of lecturer, took us around and gave us the full tour. It was
Do you
brilliant.
remember he showed us? There was I think it was a Finnish tank, might be an Italian, but I can't remember. But he showed us how there was an anti-tank rifle round shot in the front, and he demonstrated how one of the guys
deflected and
jumped up on top of the tank turret to fire this thing.
And
like the ricochets around, they figured out where it had gone in the. I mean, brutal. Absolutely brutal.
It was, you would not want it to be inside that tank.
Or outside it, to be honest.
I mean, you say it was finished. It was finished, wasn't it? It was.
It certainly was. All right, Martin. Well, listen, thanks for the last 50 episodes. We'll do.
That's quite an achievement, isn't it?
Well, for you, it was. Yeah, you've outlived us all. I'm looking forward to the next 50. We'll have some more fun. Thanks again, everyone, all the patrons, for all your support. Thanks for the comments people leave.
Amazing.
Thanks for everything. We may get the results of the final that Sumo and Tom are playing, so well done to those guys for going through that. And we'll catch you all next time. Till then, Martin, cheerio.
Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.